Welcome back to the channel. My name is Alex Funk, and today I am going to be diving into the numbers behind what will be my third real estate property as a 23-year-old. And so I'm very excited to, I'm at the property right now. I'm on the back patio. My new neighbors are outside right now. Looks like playing some games or something like that. But why I want to make this video is because I want to help anybody who has yet to buy their first property and wants to and doesn't really know where to start. So the backstory of my first two houses: first house, single family home, okay, purchase price $228,000. We put 5% down with a first time home buyer loan. And so after the closing costs, the total out of my pocket was $13,000 cash. And so what I tell people every time they ask is I say, if you want to buy a property, save up $15,000, $20,000, okay? Save your paychecks, live below your means. I was always the PB&J in the cooler guy at meetings and things like that. No Jimmy John's for me. Saved up. It costed me $13,000 out of pocket to get my first property. That is in St. Paul, Minnesota. $228,000 single family home. I have lived there now for 3 years, okay? And that house, I get paid rent, okay? A total every month of 4 people pay me around $600 or so. So it's $2,400 coming in. My mortgage at that house is $1,200, other expenses and whatnot. Let's say $300-400 a month on average. I profit $800 from their rent, okay? And I live there for free. And I have now gained over $50,000 of equity in the past 5 years, just from the house going up in value. So for the past 3 years of my life, house number one, I've lived for free, so I've not paid rent in over 3 years. I've had $800 a month cash flow coming to me for over 3 years, $800 per month coming in, okay? And then I've also gained over $50,000 of equity. That costed me out of pocket around $13,000. That's it. So a $13,000 investment, okay, has now netted me, you know, you can crunch the numbers on that. Maybe I'll edit that in or something like that. Okay, house number two, when I was 21 years old, okay, got into that with my mom. So that was a deal we did together. It was actually her money, okay, and she signed the loan. So the first house, my parents co-signed on it. The second house, my parents also co-signed, and they brought the money to the table. We went into that as a regular investment property, so it's 20% down. So out of pocket, it costed us about $40,000. We have cash flowed on that property about $1,100 a month for the past 2 years. And we are looking to double that, triple that, coming up over the next couple of years. Or not even next couple of years, over really the next couple of months. We turned over the property to somebody else. So we do zero work. We manage zero things with that second house. And it brings in now somewhere between $2,000 and $3,000 a month. So if you add up my first two properties, that's just about $2,000 to $3,000 per month coming into my pocket, coming into my bank account. And so far out of pocket, $13,000, okay? Third property, $0 out of my pocket. That's why I'm making this video. I want you guys to understand how you can do this for yourself. So this house, I learned this house, kind of the process with this. For the past 2 years, I thought I couldn't get any more loans. I thought I was tapped out. Thought that there was no way I was going to get another house because I can't get a loan and I haven't been saving enough money, right? So if you feel like, oh, you know, I haven't been saving money, I don't even know where to start. Like I don't have the capital saved, or my job doesn't pay me enough. It has nothing to do with the money. This house, $0 out of my pocket. So I will have, when this house is all settled and we transition my second house to a full-time Airbnb, my cash flow per month should be between $3,000 and $5,000 at the minimum, really. And in big Airbnb months, it should be a lot more than that. $6,000, $7,000, I'm thinking. Times that by 12 months in a year, that's my passive income. That is not active income. That's not from my job. That's from these houses that I've put a total of $13,000 of my own money into. So the third house, how did we make this happen? I'm standing on the back porch because the front porch, cars are driving by a bunch, and they don't need to know the stuff. They can subscribe to the YouTube if they want to learn. But this house, month ago, I learned at a retreat I was at. So this is why when somebody asks me where they should invest their money, I always tell them, invest it into yourself, invest it into learning, invest it into masterminds, invest it into coaching, buy books, invest your time in the books. I was at a mastermind in Austin, Texas, and I learned that to make any deal happen, you only need three things. You need the money, so the down payment. You need the loan, so you need somebody to be able to sign the piece of paper that gets you the loan. And then you also need the deal. So you need to find a property that makes sense, that will cash flow, and you have to put the deal together so it makes sense. So I got to work two partners of mine. One of them is a guy I've known for many, many years. I know he wants to get into real estate investing. So it's a good friend of mine who has a good paying job out of college, nothing too crazy, right? Not, into the deep six figures or anything like that, but the bank is willing to give him a loan because the bank values doing deals with people who have a steady paying job. And so if you are a 1099 or an entrepreneur, or you just started your own business, I'm thinking of one of my good friends, the bank's not going to give you money. It doesn't matter how much money you've made either. You have to show that money for over 2 years. What the bank values is somebody with a steady paying W-2 job. And so if you are an aspiring entrepreneur, you got to find a partner. And so for the third house, for the first two houses, it happened to be my parents, but it does not have to be, okay? That was just, my situation. Maybe your parents would be willing to be a part of a deal. For this house, though, the partner that I found is a good friend of mine. He got us the loan, right? And then for the money, we do need to put money down. Okay, I'm willing to split the equity with this person, 50% and 50%, because they're in on the deal with me. Which is how deals work, right? You can create the terms however you want to create the terms. So for us, it was, hey, I'm going to be the deal guy. He's the loan guy. Okay, I create the deal where it's a win-win for both of us. And then the last thing we have to find is the deal, and we have to create a deal. And that was my job with this house. And I took the pride of finding this, getting the realtor, seeing properties, getting everything set up, creating the terms. And so all you need is you have to create those three things. It's the deal, okay? It is the cash, and it's the loan. So the cash is the only thing I haven't talked about yet. For me, $0 into this house. This will be my third house in a row where I've brought very minimal money to the table. So I'll be now a part of three houses. Again, I'll cash flow probably an average of $4,000 a month. So that's $48,000 a year. It's like a teacher salary as my passive income, not active. That's not from my job. I'm 23. This is just the start, right? So, and that's all from $13,000 of my own money that I've invested. So where do you get this money from? Again, this could be anybody. You all know somebody who has money. You just might not recognize it, okay? Think about in your life anybody who's invested in Robinhood or the stock market or a Roth IRA or the S&P 500, or literally think about anybody who's done any type of deal in your life. Or anybody who has a job. They're spending that money on something. So what if you went to your grandma and said, hey, grandma, I know you have all this money saved up. I can actually get you a return of 30% per month. That beats the stock market by 3x, right? Wouldn't it make sense for your grandma to do that? Your grandma's not different than uber wealthy people, okay? Wealthy people also have money. They want to put that money into smart investments, okay? So you have to build their trust. You have to network. You have to get to know people. Everybody has money and they want to put it somewhere smart. So for this house, for example, I was able to have a friend who has a lot of money saved up, and I was able to write up a deal, create terms that made sense, and get $20,000 from him for the down payment. And then the guy who's in on the house with me, he had money saved for a deal, but he could have did the same thing. And so I'm going to pay back that $20,000. I created the terms. That money is going to come out of my cash flow. And that's the game. That's the game that we're playing here. The game is you need all three parts of the deal: the cash, the terms, and you need a deal. And then you need to create the deal, and you need all three parts. You could be all three parts. Think about my first house. So my first house, I was the cash, I was the deal, and I had my parents help with the loan because as a 1099 entrepreneur, could not get a loan by myself. My second house, I was the deal I brought it to my parents. I said, I think you can co-sign again. They could. And then I said, hey, Mom, would you actually be willing to invest in it too? And my mom said, yeah, for sure. And she had the cash. So that happened to be my parents, but that could have been anybody, right? That could be anybody with money, because everybody wants a good deal. So I have terms to pay them back on that, to pay them off on that. And then the third house, which I was just walking around before my phone died, and now it's dark out. The third house, I found the deal. I created the deal, really. My friend, okay, who has a great paying W-2 job, okay, the bank trusts him. He is getting us the loan. We're doing the deal 50-50, splitting the equity 50-50 of the house, because I created the deal. I created the deal where I get the cash flow for the first 8 months, and then we're going to repurpose the deal coming next May. But for right now, the cash flow is all for me because I created the deal. All right, my phone keeps dying, and I'm just going to bite the bullet and commit to finishing this, even if it looks like I'm recording on a potato right now on my Zoom camera. But yeah, that's it. So the third deal, split 50% equity. And what that deal will do for me now is it allows me to move out of the house I'm in, turn this into a full-time Airbnb, turn half of that third property, which is a duplex, into an Airbnb, and then live in the other side free again. So I still will not be paying any rent, living for free for now going on 3 years, more than 3 years, no rent. Imagine if that cost was taken out of your life. And then the cash flow from this, I'm turning it into a 2-level Airbnb. So the cash flow from this, plus from the first property, plus from the third property, minus paying back my parents, paying back the money for the third deal, paying all the mortgages, paying the utilities and all of that, I will still be somewhere around $400 to $4,500 a month in net cash flow. Times that by 12 months a year, that's about $50,000 a year in passive income. And it actually is truly passive because I also have somebody I know, a connection, right? This is why you pay to get in masterminds and things, that fully manages the Airbnbs for me. So I don't have to do anything. I literally do not have to do anything besides set these deals up and make sure all the bookwork, nothing gets lost and everybody gets paid and all of that. We'll cash flow passively around $50,000 a year as a college dropout, 23-year-old, and for $13,000 of my own money. So I'm not making this to boast. I'm making this to say, hey, you want to get into real estate investing, do it. And hopefully this video helped kind of understand all you have to do is create the deal and get people in on the deals with you. Everyone wants to be a part of a good deal. You just have to create it. So, all right. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel all the way to the end. If you saw through all the phases of my phone dying and whatnot, but hey, subscribe to the channel. Tune in next time. We'll see you soon.